Hello and welcome into my cat's least favorite podcast, the Dynasty Dogs podcast, brought to you by Win Daily. I'm your host, Rich Mack. Here alongside me, as always, is Michael Anthony, and
How
we've
you
got
doing,
some
Rich?
breaking Dynasty Dog news. Michael and I are happy to announce that we've been invited to the 2024 Reese's Senior Bowl as part of the media. Pretty big deal for us. I know it's been a goal of ours. I know it's been a goal of Mike's for sure to get down there and take a look at these young cats. What do you think, Mike?
So it's like I said, when you and I started talking to Tony, one of the top heads at Win Daily Sports, about our goals for this podcast. This was one of the goals I had mentioned, uh, going down to Mobile for the Senior Bowl, and it's amazing that we're in this spot that we are. Being so new to this space, which is it's really cool to get this opportunity and be so new. And it's just, I want to thank the Reese's Senior Bowl for giving us this opportunity and Win Daily for putting us in this position.
Right. Yeah, I'm excited and I want to thank them as well. Just to see and take it all in. You know what I mean? I don't really know what to expect as far as interview wise or process wise, but to be able to, see these guys, the future stars of, the sport that we talk about every single week, it's pretty cool. It's pretty decent. And I think it's a great opportunity for us, especially, wanting to grow in this space that we're in. And yeah, it's great. I'm excited.
If you, any listeners out there have any questions you guys would like to bounce off us to use for the interview processes down while we're down there, send them over because, like Rich said, we're
Absolutely.
both brand new at this shit. So
Yeah.
I've been starting to kind of get my questions ready. I'm going to start finding some people that have done this before or are going to do this and kind of bounce questions off them so we can kind of learn and get ready to do this because yeah, it's going to be fun. There are some players I'm extremely excited to see. A lot of them are wide receivers. There is only right now two running backs that have been announced for the Senior Bowl. Uh, Marshawn Lloyd from USC, and I can't remember the other one off the top of my head. Marshawn Lloyd can play. I forget the other guy, unfortunately. But there's a few wide receivers that I'm interested. Johnny Wilson, Florida State wide receiver, like,
Big
basically
fella.
he's 6'7". Yeah, big fella is right.
What's he run? Do you know?
Oh, dude, I don't know. That's actually a good question. I would have to look into that. But he is such a fluid mover, and he just catches everything. It's going to
Yeah.
be interesting to see a guy at that size play wide receiver in the NFL. It's almost like when we're kids and you make the
Right.
Madden players like
Yeah.
7 foot tall and just destroying the computer. But it's going to be interesting. Xavier Legette from South Carolina, another guy I'm interested in seeing. Another big body wide receiver. He's a big a big massive man, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. And Brandon Rice, Jerry Rice's son from USC, is
I
going to
was
be
going to
down there.
say Jerry Rice's son is going to be in there. That's going to be decent.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Pretty cool to say the least, even if he's, you don't know anywhere. We don't know anywhere where he's projected, do you?
So I
What
recently
kind of grade
started
he's had on
watching
him?
him. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
recently started watching him. I don't really have enough right now to kind of give like a
Right.
grade on him because I literally yesterday turned on his all 22 film, and
Mm.
the issues with the household Dynasty dogs have kind of you know
Yeah.
taken control. The inmates are running the
Right.
asylum in
It
my
is.
house. But yeah, it's gonna be cool to see. I just looking at what other people have said about him. I'm going to say probably second, third round wide
Okay.
receiver. That's just basing it off what I've seen online. I don't, I don't.
Right. Does he have? Right. I mean, yeah. I'm curious. I got to look that up. Like how big he is and what, like, if you compare him to
He's
his.
6'3", I believe,
Okay.
is
So
what I
probably.
saw last. I'll tell you in 2 seconds. But uh,
They're roughly the same measurables.
yes, so he is 6'3", 210 is what they have listed here.
Okay.
Uh,
Jerry was 6'2", 200. So roughly the same.
mhm. One thing I did notice, by the way, uh, turning on the few minutes of game film that I watched, he dances a lot at the line of
Mm-hmm.
scrimmage. Like his release off the line is like a lot of like movement. And I
Yeah.
feel like it's that scene in Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Paul Rudd is telling him, do less. You're doing too much. Do less. And I feel
Yeah.
that's what I feel like watching him. But hey, like, look, we will never be in his position,
No.
so it's going to be cool to see. It's going to be and
I
have an actual physical look at these guys
right.
is going to be awesome.
Yeah. To be on like right in front of them to see like the action unfold in front of us is going to be pretty awesome.
Because last year Tank Dell was making because I was just scrolling through Twitter and like seeing people post videos of him
Mm-hmm.
absolutely annihilating everybody. Now he's doing it in the NFL,
Yeah.
so I'm excited to see that.
It's cool. It's cool to see the progression. But yeah, that's our breaking news. We're gonna get into some injuries. We're gonna get into some games. We might even get into some firings. If
Might
yeah, well,
might as
is
well.
that pretty big news? Is that big news? I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think that's pretty big news because we talked about it last week briefly. Briefly,
And oh yeah, speaking of last week, we're also going to give a little rundown on our draft we did last week for the old YouTube. But yeah, what do you want to get into first?
let's get into the old charges.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, is it breaking news, or is it in other news the sun came up today? We kind
It's
of
about damn
expected it.
time.
Yeah, right. We kind of expected this to happen. That guy couldn't coach himself out of a paper bag.
Mhm.
Um, I don't. But you know what? The main thing that stuck out to me when they fired him is this is going to be either third or fourth head coach for Herbert in 5 years. I think it's his third.
I think it's the second or third. Yeah, it should be the third. Third sounds right.
It's like you're just screwing that kid. With coach after coach after coach after coach. This guy, you could tell you should have got
Mhm.
rid of him earlier in the season.
So last night they got absolutely shellacked. Is what I imagine kind of was the final nail
Yeah.
in the coffin of Brandon Staley as a head coach.
Right.
63-21 to the Raiders is unacceptable behavior.
Well, that's good, and let's talk about this though. How about Antonio Pierce on the other side of the field?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So you see the rise of him and how the Raiders have taken off, and the absolute shit show that has been the Chargers. So it's like a tale of two cities last night. Um,
yeah. And let's also talk about this: how important Justin Herbert is to that team.
yeah,
I mean, Easton Stick couldn't do anything. Couldn't
no,
anything going. Like I get losing pretty badly when your star quarterback is out, but
hmm
it's 63-21. That
oh my
shows me
god,
your entire team was just not prepared,
right.
and
And
you
and
didn't do your job during the week.
when did they start? They started scoring late, didn't they? Like I didn't get a chance to
Oh, the
watch it, but
Chargers?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it
Like
was
I
like
think
the
it was
halftime
like 43-0, but I was like, holy
at
shit.
halftime. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was happening quickly because I remember there was probably 3 or 4 minutes left before halftime, and it was like 31-0, and then all of a sudden it was 42. I was like, how the hell
Right.
did we get here?
Yeah, that was congratulations to anyone who started Aiden O'Connell.
Congratulations to who started anybody on the Raiders offense:
Uh,
Zamir White, Michael
Zamir White, yeah.
Mayer, uh,
Yeah.
Devontae Adams. Like they all had
A game.
really good game. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I did see earlier on Twitter there are some betting odds. I'm just going to give you a few of them. I'm not going to go through everybody. I'm just going to go through the main ones. Right now, the betting favorite is Bill Belichick to be the next head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. What do you think about that?
I mean, I can see it happening. I feel like the guy that's probably second on the list is who's going to get it. But
Who do
Bill
you think
Belichick's.
second on the list? I want to ask you that.
My guess would be Kellen Moore would be the second.
Okay, yeah, I could see that. I could see
Um,
that.
but
But
I
I
mean,
will before you go in. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off,
good.
but
No, you're good.
it's surprising to me that he wasn't announced as the interim head coach.
And you know what? You say that I read because I thought the same thing before they hired Griff or Giraffe or whoever the hell the guy's name is. You seen who it was. Um, he didn't want to. He removed his name from the contention for interim because he didn't want to screw his chances of getting a head coaching job somewhere else.
Oh, so maybe he's
Potentially,
not. Yeah,
yeah.
maybe he's not
So
really
that's what
interested in
I
keeping this
right.
job.
It could be because I mean, it's a smart move if you think about it. He's just keeping his options open. You know,
Hmm.
if a good, an enticing job like maybe Carolina, if he thinks that's an enticing job, I don't know really why you would think that with the dumpster fire that's the ownership, but maybe a Pittsburgh opens up. Let's see, where else would we think? Maybe
We talked
Chicago
about it.
opens up.
New
Yeah,
England.
New England, obviously. But yeah, that'd be. I would think that's why he's doing that. But as far as Bill Belichick, he's the shiny new toy that's
I
finally
don't know if
coming
he's a
off.
shiny new toy, but he's
Well, he's been in New England for
he's like
150 years.
the meme of Andy dropping Woody on the floor. I don't want to play with you anymore. That's what New England is
Yeah,
doing.
yeah.
Um, but see, it's interesting that he's the betting favorite. Is because they didn't just fire Brandon Staley; they fired their GM too. And Bill
Yeah.
Belichick has been historically a bad general manager.
Oh my
Like the
God! Like
draft picks are
like the
awful.
worst, because it's like he is a genius on the on the field, right?
Mhm.
Like his scheme is either that or he cheats. Obviously, like it's a proven fact that he is a cheater. Um,
If he ain't cheating,
but
he ain't trying, I
yeah,
guess.
right. But his draft picks, he tries to outthink everyone, kind of like
Mhm.
what Howie did when he's like just taking everyone that isn't SEC. He's like, let me go here to Newman University and see with their offensive line. They don't have a football team, but it's okay. We'll
Yeah.
take someone else from there.
They don't have a football team?
No,
I actually didn't know that. That's
no.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me, but it kind of does at the same time. I
Unfortunately,
just
not.
imagine every college has a football team, but
That would be nice.
I know
See,
that's
I'd be
not
in the NFL by
realistic.
now because I would have started for Newman.
Why can't I play quarterback? I was all Newman University.
I just eat popcorn.
uh,
Hot hike.
some other guys on this list are Harbaugh,
Oh,
Jim
Jim
Harbaugh,
Hardballs.
yeah,
Okay.
from Michigan. So
Speaking
there's
of
a
cheaters,
yeah, there's a big rumor that he's been enamored with Justin Herbert. So I think that's the reason why his name has been floating around. Lincoln Riley is another one. Kellen Moore, which you mentioned, and Brian Johnson, the OC for the Detroit Lions.
oh damn it! I think you meant Brian Johnson, the OC from the Eagles. I'm like, oh,
No,
please
God,
go, please go,
no,
take it.
they wouldn't. They would
um,
not. Well, who knows? Maybe they would.
where's Lincoln Riley at? Is he at USC?
USC, yeah.
Okay,
I
he's
mean,
not the head coach, right?
yeah, he is.
Is he? Okay.
Hmm. So those are the interesting names, but whoever. So I read earlier today that they are 42 million over the cap. So whoever inherits that GM and head coach is got to make some like really difficult decisions
Yeah, it's
because
not. It's not
it's
lack.
ugly.
It's not for like lack of trying, right? Like they
No,
have a solid. They have a real. If you look at the paper, you have a solid team in front of you. You got Herbert. You got that Jo Austin Eckler, who, let's get back to that game for a second, popped up and did the first down point when he's getting freaking destroyed.
hey, we are not going to slander that man's name on this
Oh,
podcast because
I
that
can't,
man,
I
why?
can't
That
stand
man
him.
cares about your fantasy team.
Oh yeah, I know he does.
He,
That's why every time I'm top 4 in redraft, I'm like avoiding that dude like the plague, and it's been beneficial for me every year. Um, but he's decent when he plays in his 5 games, and then gets demoted to whoever has the hot hand. They got good wide receivers.
uh,
Um, yeah, Keenan Allen's been solid his entire
yeah,
career.
Allen has been very, very good, but I think,
Quentin
I mean,
Johnson is an up and coming superstar. We both know that. Um,
he had a touchdown, I guess.
See, I told you. That's all he needed. He
Um,
caught. No, more importantly, he caught the touchdown.
he caught the ball. Yeah, that like, could you just imagine what going through that dude's head every time the ball comes through?
He's
Oh
like,
my
for the love
god,
of
it's
God.
gonna happen
Do you ever
again.
see in green? What is it in green? Gridiron Gang. Is it Gridiron Gang? He's like, please catch it, please catch it, please catch it. Oh no, that's a Sandlot. He's like,
Oh, that's right.
please
Yeah,
catch it, please catch it, please. That's him. Who else they got? They got Khalil Mack, who's a monster. They got
yeah, but
Bosa.
I think he's on his
He's
way out.
yeah, he's tailing off, but
Bosa can't really stay healthy.
Samuel
They have
Jr.
Asante Samuel Jr. Yeah, that's another one. Oh, their safety. Derwin James is like one of the
Mm-hmm.
best safeties in football. It doesn't make any sense to me that
No,
this team is bad in
mm-mm,
any way, shape, or form.
mm-mm.
But it's it's an older team. I guess that's part of the reason. It's an usually banged up team, which I guess has part to it. But they have like the superstar name talent
Mm-hmm.
around them, which is just
Right.
odd.
Yeah, and they're just not clicking. So yeah, they got like old and they got a mix, old and young, but they need to like get a grip and start building really around Herbert and like ask him for his input, dude.
To be honest, I think this. So we haven't mentioned anything about Dynasty just yet, um, beside the Reese's Senior Bowl stuff. But I actually think this firing helps Justin Herbert's dynasty value more than it hurts it. Because you imagine if we had to go through another year of Brandon Staley as his head coach.
Oh God, I don't think he would make it that whole year. To be honest with
He's
you,
like, get me out of here.
for the love of God, please get me out of here,
Yeah, so
or he wouldn't
I'm
resign.
you and I have kind of gone back and forth when it comes to Justin Herbert because I'm a Herbert guy, you're a Trevor Lawrence guy.
Yeah,
Has your opinion changed on the two of them when it comes to
no,
dynasty?
I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be better than him. I got to
Really, you
stand by
still
that,
think
man.
that?
Yep, I got to
Is that
stand
big?
by it,
Now
man.
hold on, time out. Take your dynasty team out of this. Say you don't have
Yeah,
Trevor Lawrence on your team. Are you still standing by that? Because in theory, you didn't have a chance to take Trevor Lawrence or Justin Herbert. You had Trevor Lawrence available, so you made the
yeah,
right pick. But if you had the choice between the two, would you still have made the same choice, or would you have gone with
yeah.
Herbert?
Just because I like Lawrence's team better. I like Lawrence's coach
That's
better,
fair.
obviously.
They
So
have they have some issues on that team because it always seems like they're this close, but then they just kind of
mhm.
start falling apart. And that's the Doug Peterson thing that we saw here
Yeah,
after the Super Bowl.
yeah, yeah. I agree with that, but I mean, I think they're just a few pieces away. I like Kirk on that team. Ingram bringing him back is really solid. I like ETN better than I like Eckler. Ooh,
I
ooh,
don't
did
think
I
that's
say
a
that?
woo. I don't think that's a woo anymore.
No.
Ian's very touchdown
Okay.
dependent, though.
Yeah. Um,
Did you
Zay
say
Jones
Calvin
isn't
Ridley?
bad. Calvin Ridley, he's not had the
He,
season I definitely thought he was going to have, but I mean, I still think it's again he's been out of football for a minute, so give him
true.
a season to get back to the get back on the horse.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I can't disagree. He has he's had some very impressive games, and then he just kind of disappears for like three
Yeah,
or two in a row, and then
right.
he'll come back again. But you are right; it's probably part of the you know getting the dust off. But what I will say, I think Justin Herbert has looked better with less than Trevor Lawrence has
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
because Mike Williams hasn't played. Keenan Allen has been in and out, banged
Hmm.
up. Austin Eckler has been banged up. He's out there. Quentin Johnson, Gerald Everett, and Donald Parham a lot of the
Yeah,
time. Oh, Joshua Palmer, who I think is very solid.
yeah. He steps up in games when he needs to. They need him to step up. That's for sure.
Like their
Yeah,
first points yesterday,
right.
just ran a vert wide open, and it's just like, oh,
Just
hey.
like, oh, thank God.
uh, you want to get into some injury news now that we're the first week of the playoffs, and it's just everyone's losing legs and concussions and
It's just,
everything right now.
well, for me, I'm getting hit with one more game with Jonathan Taylor. I'm like, dude, I
Oh, dude, it
really,
sucks.
really, really need you, man. It's like,
Well,
it seems like that happens though, right? Like every year, you get to the playoffs and your star player goes, oh, there he
mhm.
goes. You know what I mean?
So because you said that, I had to make a move in a contender league where I have like a plethora of wide receivers, and I really needed a running back to go with Kamara because Jonathan Taylor, you know,
Hmm.
missing this week and possibly next week. Who knows? I had to make a move for Joe Mixon, so I traded a Marvin Mims and a third for Joe Mixon, which I'm selling out to win a
But
championship.
I don't even think so. I don't even think. Well, I
No,
mean,
I
your
really don't
team,
think so either. Because like
because
Mixon's
but
probably
give
got
some,
another year.
but give some context to that. Like, I mean, give your wide receivers are like you have stacked wide receivers.
Yeah, so my
So
wide
like,
receivers are, I'm just going to go off the top of my head: Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, St. Brown, JSN, Cortland Sutton, guys like Tank Dell, and somebody else are out.
how
So I
did you even
still have.
acquire people like that?
I
Like
traded for.
you have no first round picks for the next 52 years or something. But
No, I don't have any picks this year, but I have all my picks after that.
nice.
My tight end is Sam Laporta. I have Baker Mayfield and Jared Goff at quarterback, which doesn't sound great, but it works because they're both going to have, solid quarterback points that my wide receivers will just keep me
And
afloat.
and how many years in is this?
This is the first year.
Is it okay?
hmm This was a startup I did in February. Oh, my other wide receiver, who I didn't even mention, who I drafted in the 24th round of that startup, Puka Nakua.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so it's
That's a
just
pretty solid team.
I've got a diamond rough of
Yeah,
wide
you
receivers.
must be playing with people who have like no idea like what's going on, but that's
I
like
decide
that's
so
an
I kind of decided, so I went a different route than a lot of people, and this is actually sometimes I've done this, sometimes I haven't. In a super flex league where I go heavy elite wide receiver
mhm,
and grab we're going to talk about this later, the game manager quarterbacks
mhm,
after. The
mhm.
Jared Goffs, the Baker Mayfields, the guys who are going to get me steady production, but
Yeah.
then I have the elite wide receiver talent on top of it. So in that draft, I went um, my first pick. I don't know what pick it was. My first pick was Chase, and then I came back and got Lamb.
Okay. That's pretty
So
solid, yeah.
yeah, so I was
And then
happy
how
with
did you
that.
get what you trade for St. Brown?
Yeah, so I traded Tank Dell and I think Tank Dell and Kyle Pitts, which seems like a lot, but Kyle Pitts really hasn't done anything yet.
Kyle Pitts is like like a game away from being a bust for me, dude. It's like
He had a good week last week, but um, Tank Dell is a very, very good wide receiver, but neither one of those have reached the levels of Amon-Ra St. Brown
no.
right now. And now I
That's my
have an elite trio of wide receivers and Puka Nakua. So I feel pretty damn good about that. And JSN, who I think in a year will be,
pretty solid.
I don't fuck the picks. You know what I mean? I feel like the
Yeah.
Rams. Fuck the
Yeah.
picks. I got
Right.
all the wide receiver talent I could use, and then if something goes fucking wrong, which hopefully it won't, I'll start
Right.
moving those pieces.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you're in like
Dynasty strategy 101.
yeah, you're in freak out mode if something if your team like starts to shit the bed and it's like, "Oh god, I have no picks." Oh
I
god.
mean that's possible, but like I've got enough elite talent where I could just reload in
Yeah.
minutes.
Right. Yeah, that
You
makes
know,
sense.
part of me
Yeah.
actually. So I put a sidebar with that. We got a lot to talk about, but I put a poll out the other day, yesterday. Who has more dynasty value, Jamar Chase or Bijan Robinson? I think I remember. You think you saw that?
Mhm.
I think you voted Chase, correct?
Yeah, I took Chase.
So I want to ask you why. The reason
I
why
just
go ahead.
good. No,
I'll let you
good.
answer
Finish
the.
up.
I'll let you answer. I shouldn't
All
have
right.
gone into it. I shall let you answer that.
I just think it's like I just go off the body of work that I've
hmm
seen so far as to what I've not seen so far with Bijan. I mean, did I take Bijan in every one of my leagues except for the one that we're in? Yes, but I do feel as though I just need to see more from him. Whereas I've seen everything I need to see from Chase for me to make that decision.
Okay. I mean,
You know what I mean? He's the next. I think he is going to be one of the next guys. Like one of those that you talk about. 10 years from now, like we talk about Randy Moss or we talk about To. You know what I mean?
okay.
I feel like
Yeah,
he's the next in that line.
I don't think you're wrong at all in any stretch of imagination. I think you could, if you were to trade Chase for Bijan, you could probably get plus on top of Bijan. Now, what that plus is, I have no idea because that was what I was thinking in my brain. Like, what could I get on top of Bijan to move Chase? You know what I mean? Like in my brain, I couldn't figure it out because that poll was absolutely one sided.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, Bijan's running back 8 on the season. So it's I
Yeah,
think people think
but
he's
I
been shit
mean,
in the bed.
no, yeah, it's just I think it's just the whole Arthur Smith and that guy's
Sure.
a goofball. I just the offense, none of it makes any sense. None of that offense makes any sense to me. You know
Right.
what I mean? You got Drake London who you play
Love
and then you
him.
you sit, but as soon as you sit him, he goes off for 29 fucking points. I still won. Um, you got Kyle Pitts who's an athletic freak, and you don't utilize him. You're throwing to my grandpa Jonnu Smith.
And
You know
Tyler
you got
Algier, who I
you
mean is
got
solid, but
you take Bijan at 7, and then you're going to use Tyler Algier. So and then you got the shitty quarterback that is Desmond Ritter. So it's like none of that makes any sense.
mhm.
I think they need a new coach, and I think they need a new quarterback, and then they're good as gold. But it's such that team is such an anomaly. Much like the Chargers, who have great pieces, they just don't. It doesn't make any sense.
What honestly, I think Arthur Smith is a decent NFL coach, but a horrible coach for fantasy football, like you just talked about.
Yeah,
Like that
yeah,
dude is doing, he's keeping that team afloat with Desmond Ritter.
yeah.
You know what I mean? They're
But
still
you
in
know what I
playoff
mean.
contention.
But I see you. I see your point there. But like you say keeping them afloat with Desmond Ritter, they had plenty of opportunities to take a quarterback. You know what
True.
I mean?
Yeah,
So
you're right.
it's
You're
like
right.
it's like that meme. And it's like the kid's riding the bicycle and he sticks the stick in the wheel. And it's like, oh, I can't believe this happened, but he did it to himself. Like you're
Yeah.
like, okay, here's some quarterbacks. I'm going to take Kyle Pitts. Here's some quarterbacks. I'm not going to trade back. I'm going to take Bijan Robinson. I'm going to take. What else they take? I forget. They did it. I think they did it 3 years in a row. I thought they were going to take a quarterback, but they do it to themselves, and it's like, well, look at him do a great job with Desmond Ritter. Well, hello, that was you who did it. Like
Right.
you could have
Right.
you could have avoided this.
Right.
And not for nothing, his goddamn mustache is annoying.
He's got the state trooper stash.
He's got the friggin' he's got the Farva mustache or the damn Flanders. Hadley diddly doodly.
I was like, wait, the who? Ned Flanders. Yeah. Um,
Ned Flanders or Farva from Super Troopers.
oh, that's right. I didn't even think about it. I
Yeah.
thought you were saying Brett Favre, but you were making fun of him. I don't know why.
No.
I don't remember Favre with a mustache at all. But
Farva.
we got really off topic. These injuries are plentiful right now. CJ Stroud, doubtful for this week. Nico Collins is looking like he's out. Isaiah Pacheco is out. Brian Robinson is out. Ramondre Stevenson is out. Madison is out. Hayden Hurst is out. Jefferson's questionable. DJ Moore is questionable. AJ Dillon, I believe it says questionable, but I believe I saw he's out. Aaron Jones is questionable. Chris Olave is questionable. This
And a
is,
partridge in a pear tree.
yeah, yeah. Pepperidge Farms remembers when our teams were healthy going into the playoffs. This is absolutely fucking ridiculous, man. Give
Yeah.
us a break. Like,
So
Jonathan
do they
Taylor, I didn't even mention him. Justin
I
Herbert's
was
out for the
thinking
season. Like,
our pets' heads are falling off?
oh, damn it, you beat me to it. We got no food. We got no jobs. Our pets' heads are falling off. What are we doing here, Harry?
This begs the question again, a shower thought 101. I was thinking, I'm like, has it ever been done to do like a short season fantasy football league? Like is that a thing?
I
You know
think
what I
that would
mean?
drive
Like
me insane.
so if
Like, end it
so
by
for
week
instance,
10 or something.
yeah, like end it by like week 8. Like you have
Oh, oh,
like play like everyone's finally healthy. You just ram right through it, like week like 8, 9, and 10, or like the playoffs.
See, my
I
argument
don't
with
think that's
that,
ever been done.
I mean, it's an interesting concept for fantasy football, but I feel like a lot of injuries happen in the first like 3 weeks because of like
Yeah.
getting used to it. So
Hmm.
by week 4, you're fucking holding on for dear life
Yeah.
again. So
Halfway through, baby.
either way, you're screwed. So
Yeah.
I, that's an interesting concept, but
We should do
it's
that for
just
like not for big money, just for
it's
like
just for like
$10. That'd be fun.
yeah, that's actually end it at week 10 and hope for the best.
I don't know if I wonder if you can
Want
do
to
that in
count the
settings.
preseason?
You're a league manager. Yeah, that'd be fun.
No, God, no. We would get no points. No points anywhere.
Or yeah, right. Like you have to draft like Carson Strong.
Oh, but yeah, this is actually one of the worst injury seasons I've ever seen. It feels like I could be way off, but it just feels
Hmm.
horrible.
Yeah, it's been riddled. I know I've been decimated at the running back position between, and now this is spanning through all my teams with Taylor. Our league, I
Dobbins.
lost Nick Chubb and Dobbins back to back. With then Kyron Williams, who was hurt for a minute. So it's like in
Mm-hmm.
Dynasty this year, being my first year doing it,
Pick
it was
102,
a
baby. There you go.
baby. There we go, dude. Marvin's coming. It's gonna be Marvin's room. My team's name is gonna be Marvin's room next year.
Uh, you're going to be a
But
very
my
sad team.
I know, and you know what's gonna happen? I'm gonna be even sadder when he goes one, and I got Caleb Williams. That's what's gonna happen.
Uh, don't
I
hate on
mean,
Caleb.
I guess that's not going to be a terrible problem, but
No.
I've been thinking since about week 4. I'm like, I'm going to get Marvin Harrison Jr. Baby. I'm drafting him. I'm taking him, and we'll see. Um,
Speaking of that, do you want to kind of go into our draft recap from our live show?
yeah. Do you got the notes?
Yeah, so I've got some notes on that. We did a live show this past Sunday with TJ Blake of the Dynasty DNA. Make sure you guys follow them. Check out their podcast. There's some great dudes. They've got episodes coming out like 3 or 4 times a week with their primary pod, their
Mhm.
Dynasty debate show. There's just a lot going on there. Make sure you check those guys out.
Yep.
They're great dudes. But to recap a little bit of this past show, it was fun, man. It's fun. Startup season is fun, and it was a fun exercise to kind of throw these possible 2024 prospects in because we don't necessarily know if a lot of these guys are coming out just yet. They could go back to school, but it's fun to start getting yourself ready for your rookie drafts because a lot of us, Rich just talked about how, he's out of the playoffs. He's the 102. He can start his rookie process now. I'm in a league or two where, I didn't make the playoffs. I started gearing for that a few weeks ago. And, I'm starting into my rookie process as well. So, it was a fun exercise. Did you enjoy that?
I did, and you know what was cool? It was the first time that we actually went live,
Mm-hmm.
with the
That's true
Dynasty
too. I forgot
Dogs.
about that.
So it was an experience. It's definitely something to get used to, but it's definitely cool. It's one of those things where you got to jump right in and get your feet wet, and dive into it. It was I liked it, and I think we should do it again in the future.
Yeah, I think we definitely will, and it was cool that people, friends of ours,
Hmm.
people from the internets, the interwebs, the X Force or whatever that joined us, watching, drafting, all that stuff. By the way, also make sure you check out our brand new YouTube channel, the Dynasty Dogs YouTube. That is, these podcasts are going to start being posted there as well. We might not post one every single week because we don't want to scare you with our beautiful faces too much, but we are going to be posting on there pretty regularly. But to go over this draft, some notes. Stroud went at the 104, which I thought was partly surprising and partly not. What did you think about that?
Well, what pick did I have? I took 3, right?
Yeah, so you had the 103. So here's how I just wanted to look at it before I forget. Jalen Hurts went 1, which was surprising.
Hmm.
Not surprising, but it was surprising by the person who took it, Bob, who was a Steelers fan who hates the Eagles. He took them. But anyway, 102 was Pat Mahomes. And then 3, you went Josh Allen. And then 4 was CJ Stroud, taking him ahead of guys like Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert. Um, what do you think of that?
Um, I
We kind of talked
probably
about it on live, but let's talk about it here as well.
yeah. I thought it was definitely a bold move. To put all your eggs in one basket there. Ahead of guys like Joe Burrow. I I mean, I don't see any. It may be a hot take, but I'm probably taking Shroud ahead of, Burrow. I mean, he's is he injury prone? You know what I mean? Like,
It's a good question.
what do you say? He's been hurt going back to LSU.
Hmm.
He gets hurt every year. It seems like. Um, and besides this week, obviously, because CJ Stroud's hurt, he's been he's pretty healthy quarterback, and this is through no fault of his own that he's hurt. You know what I mean? It's a concussion. You can't do anything about that.
Right.
But he just puts up the points, so that's what you look for, right? That's why I picked Josh Allen, because Josh Allen puts up the points.
Hmm.
I would have taken personally. I was going to take Jalen Hurts at 3 if he was there, but he went way early. I thought at 1. Um,
Right.
I was going to take him at 3. So Josh Allen was kind of like a shoot from the hip pick because I was so taken aback by that. But as far as CJ Stroud ahead of guys like Herbert and Burrow, this season, man, he's done pretty much everything perfectly.
Hmm.
Um, so, what do you think of it?
So I actually have nothing wrong with it. I
Right.
am at the point where I think he belongs in the tier of Burrow and Justin Herbert. He's done enough for me to put him there. He's QB 8 on the year right now, and for a rookie, that's very, very good, especially
Hmm.
with how we thought the Texans were going to look in general.
Right. Yeah, I thought
Um,
they were going to win a game.
I definitely think he belongs in that same tier of a Burrow and a Herbert. Personally, I think it would be a toss up for me between Stroud and Herbert, and then Burrow. So it
Okay.
would for me would be Stroud, Herbert, Burrow, but you could interchange Herbert and
Okay.
Stroud for
Yeah,
me.
I think Burrow being last definitely makes sense
Yeah,
out of them so far.
that's. I've also been a big Justin Herbert guy, like we talked about, but the next the next one was Caleb Williams at the 1-8, going before Trevor Lawrence and Lamar Jackson. What that was picked by me, by the way.
Wait, say it
Uh,
again. There's a lot of names flying there.
Caleb Williams went at 1-8, going
Okay.
before guys like Trevor Lawrence and Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
That was a pick by me. What do you think of that?
I think that, I mean, essentially, you're buying. So when you draft a rookie ahead of anyone who's been proven, you're buying a lottery ticket,
Yep,
right?
that's
You're
exactly what I was
hoping
going to say.
you're hoping to cash in. You're hoping it hits. Um, he's going to be the only thing with Caleb Williams that like scares me away is his like mental state almost. It's like he's like, well, I want to have. You read all this crazy shit like I want partial ownership and where I'm going, where I want this, and it's like, what the hell's going on in this kid's head? Like, I get the ambition there, 100%, but like, dude, get into the league first, all right? You're talking a whole lot of game. The NFL is a hell of a lot different. You're playing with grown men,
Mhm.
so but you're buying a lottery ticket, and I inevitably think it's going to pay off. Where he's going to land, New England, Chicago.
Chicago.
My bet, if I had $1 to put down on it, I think he's going to go to Chicago. I think they move Herbert. I mean, not Herbert. I think they move Fields. If I'm looking into my crystal ball here, I think Fields ends up in Atlanta. That saves mustache
Love it. I would
Arthur
love it.
Smith. I think a guy like let's see, Drake May, Bo Nix goes to New England. But yeah, I think if I could see the future, I think that he ends up there in Chicago. That would be that'd be a good pick. I'd go back to back. I'd go with that, and I would take the best lineman if I'm Chicago. But hey, I'm not
Yeah.
Chicago. I'm just a guy here talking in my basement.
For me, it was between Caleb and Trevor Lawrence, and we talked about it. Trevor Lawrence has underperformed his generational talent tag, fantasy
Right.
football wise. I think that's fair to say. he hasn't really
Yeah.
lived up to that. So
Hmm.
why not take the gamble on the guy that people are calling the next Mahomes, which I think is a little foolhardy because nobody thought Mahomes was going to be Mahomes. Uh,
Right. Chicago. The Chicago thought Trubisky was Mahomes. Look how well that landed up.
exactly. So I wanted to take the gamble on that. And
Right.
what did you think of Lamar going before T Law? Are you okay with that? Because that actually goes into we forgot to talk about it, the Cam Newton conversation, game managers versus game changers, and you know Lamar over T Law is game changer over game manager in my opinion.
I mean, I think they're like similar in points. I think Lamar has the chance to give you the more, flashy points with the running, but there's also games where Lamar can give you like 15.
Right.
And I think whereas Trevor Lawrence, I mean, he may have one game like that, but he's not going to have as many as Lamar Jackson. So I would be taking Law. That's just I mean, but I'm biased. I don't know why that's my guy, but he's my guy. I got to ride it
So
out. You know what I mean?
as of right now, Lamar is QB4 with an average of 20 points per game, and T Law is QB11 with a 17.9 points per game. So it's a little over 2 points difference.
Okay.
Um, and that is partly because you are right. Lamar is going to have those weeks where he's just going to disappear. But
Right.
he's also going to give you, and this is why I think this person drafted Lamar over T Law, and I would have probably done the same. Um, I want those 30, 40 point weeks he's going to get you with, throwing 2 touchdown passes and running for 2 more and running for
Right.
70, 80, 100 yards. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I
Yeah.
want that opportunity, you know,
Right.
to have
You
that.
just
And
you want to have a
T
horse
Law's,
in the race.
yeah, exactly. Uh, Next one, and this is, you had to hop off the live, but TJ and I had started talking about it. Um, Chris Olave, and I talked about this on a podcast that a solo episode. Chris Olave went at the 3-2, so third round second pick. Michael Pittman went at the sixth round, the first pick. So why? Why do you think that is?
You know what? I don't know because if anyone, I'm taking Pittman because of the upside that he has with Richardson that's coming up.
Mhm.
Um, whereas you don't really know what you're getting with David Carr or Derek Carr, whatever Carr it is. Um, and he
Whatever
hasn't
car it
really
is.
he hasn't really shown me that much. You know what I mean? He picked that high, right?
Yeah. So I think a lot of people are because you and I did the rankings episode, and I believe you had Olave at 12, and I
Mm-hmm.
had him at 13, 14 back
So you're right.
a few months ago. We were kind of buying into the hype, buying into Derek Carr being the quarterback, but Michael Pittman, man, I think there's a world where Michael Pittman and Chris Olave are a lot closer than 3 rounds apart
Yeah.
from each other,
Right.
points wise. Because right now Pittman's wide receiver 11 and Olave's wide receiver 17. So
Okay.
how is
And I
that?
think Pittman's so underrated.
I think he is one of the most underrated wide receivers in this league.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely has to be.
so I pulled this up earlier, but I forgot to write it down. But the 4 games with Anthony Richardson at the helm, he had 22 catches, 222 yards, and 1 touchdown. That's good. That
Mm-hmm.
is very good. Um, and to go off the fact that Richardson didn't play the whole 4 games. He left at X amount of time. I think I want pieces of that Colts offense now before it's
Right.
too late. I think Michael Pittman right now, obviously he's a low end wide receiver one. I think that is his floor going forward. I think when Jonathan Taylor is ready to go and
Mm-hmm.
healthy, we saw when he was the lead back, he was producing. I think when Anthony Richardson returns next year, it's wheels up. I
Mm-hmm.
think he's I have him still as a top 12 dynasty quarterback. and he's going to prove to why I had him ahead of CJ Stroud pre-draft. I think
Yeah,
Josh Downs is a very nice slot receiver, and I think it's wheels up for that team. I think the Colts are
they're
going to be
starting to
good
put
next
stuff.
year.
They're starting to put it together. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I
So,
think.
do you
Yeah, I think they're
agree
putting it
that?
together. I think.
Do you
No,
agree
good.
with the Pittman over Olave? Yeah, you said you do agree Pittman over
Yeah,
Olave.
yeah. I would take. I think Pittman. Yeah,
I think they're
I
a
think
lot
he's
closer than people.
underrated.
Yeah, I think they're a lot closer than people want to admit. To be honest, that's just my.
I think they're a lot closer, but I think Pittman has more upside than Olave does.
Mhm. I think it's mostly just age that people prefer Olave and the draft capital and all that stuff and the
Hmm.
vertical ability and um, I, I thought it was going to be this smash with Carr, and it really, I mean, he's had a very good season. I can't lie, but that team is going to be in flux soon.
Right.
With Carr probably going to be not long. Kamara going to be gone. Who knows? So
Yeah.
you know, I think Pittman's a safer pick in
Yeah.
Indy.
No, I agree with that.
The next thing I want to talk about is the tight end run that kind of happened, and you love to see it because we have been waiting for this tight end landscape to change. In the fourth round, we had four tight ends go off the board within picks
Hmm.
of each other. Uh, it started with TJ Hawkinson at pick 4.2, Laporta at 4.4, Bowers at 4.6, and Kincaid at 4.9. We're here, baby. The tight end
Okay.
landscape is changing. Kelsey actually went
Right.
at 410 right after Kincaid, but you
Did I?
know,
Who took him? I didn't take him.
no, I don't think you
I thought
did.
I.
But it's beautiful to see two rookies in there. TJ Hawkinson, who was a top three tight end, and then Bowers, who hasn't even touched an NFL field yet, who's going to be a top 15 NFL draft pick and a top 6 or 7 dynasty startup pick or dynasty rookie draft pick
Right.
in tight end premium leagues. It's I'm so glad that this has finally happened
Yeah. I don't think. I
because
don't think it's happening the way you like it. I think Laporta is going to be that guy, though. Laporta
I
over
mean that's
Kincaid.
fine. That's fine. I don't think if it ends up being Laporta over Kincaid, it is I don't see anything wrong with that, but I don't think they're going to be far off. You
Right.
know what I
Okay.
mean? I think the years of Kelsey being the god of the tight end room, and then
Yeah.
he's tight end one, and then tight ends like 3, 4,
Kittle.
and 5 are you know null and void because they're so far off of the one. I think
Yeah.
those days are ending. I think we're finally here, baby. We're finally
We're
at where
finally
tight ends
here.
matter. Tight ends matter again. It's
Yeah.
great. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which one of those four are you taking first?
Out of what? Laporta, Hawkinson, Bowers, and Kincaid.
Kincaid.
Um. I think. I think. Well, we talked about it just a little bit ago that the lottery ticket's always fun, but I mean, I think Laporta. I would take Laporta probably.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, I'm gonna take Laporta because I mean he's a stud.
He is a stud. I
He
can't
looks
deny it. But
really good, dude.
I will still take Kincaid. He's been a very solid number two for the Buffalo Bills, and when he's healthy, he's been a stud too. And
Yeah,
when they've used him,
yeah,
because it didn't really start right
mm-hmm.
off. But yeah, for me, it would
Right.
be Kincaid, Laporta, uh, Laporta, and Hawkinson. I think are like 2A, 2B to me. So if you were to say one or the other, that's fine. And then Bowers
Mm-hmm.
would be right behind them, and I think when he steps on an NFL field, he might even be tight end 1 or 2 when he touches a field.
Yeah, he doesn't
So
drop the ball.
the last thing I want to say is the ADP or the average draft position did not update to the point we had liked, obviously, because Puka Nakua
Yeah,
going in
yeah.
the 10th round caught all three of
Mm-hmm.
us off guard, and nobody saw that coming.
Yeah.
That was the
No,
steal
that
of the
was
draft.
absolutely, yeah. It was a holy shit. We forgot about him.
Yeah, We really did.
Yeah, I was like,
I could see
damn.
a Cooper Cup type of, maybe not to the extent, but I could see a Cooper Cup esque um, turnout for Puka because we're starting to see it already.
Yeah, and I think he inevitably next year, and that's what I'm banking on because we talked about my trade, in other episodes that he's taking over next season. Next
Yeah,
season he's going to be the one. Cooper Cup is going to be inevitably done at some point, right?
that ankle can't stay healthy, man.
No, no, there's no
That
way.
sucks.
Yeah, yeah, I hate to say it. He turned on late though.
Hmm. Do you have anything else from the draft you want to talk about?
Mm. No, I thought it was fun. I like doing it. And I can't wait to actual do an actual draft.
Yeah, the actual rookie draft is going to be,
Yeah,
when that time comes in April and the NFL draft hits, and then our rookie drafts come not far after that. It's coming, and
I
we're
was
going
going
to
to
get a
say
first hand look. We're going to
when
get
do
a
we do
first hand
that?
look at the Senior Bowl of
Yeah, yeah.
some of these guys.
So we're going to have the inside track on who we can draft.
Yeah. So you were going to ask, like, when is our rookie draft? I haven't really
Yeah.
decided yet. Obviously, it's going to be after the NFL draft. There are leagues that do it before, and it's fun, but
Uh-huh.
it's a fucking gamble and a half because what happens if you take Caleb Williams at the 102, but he ends up getting drafted in the fourth round of the
Yeah,
NFL
right.
draft?
And you're like,
Like,
oh
that's not
well,
going to happen. But
right. An instance
it's
like
a
that.
huge gamble.
Right.
You want to talk about some of these games for this week?
I got one game in my mind, and that's Eagles and Seahawks. But
Yeah, we'll get to that one. That's the Monday night game, right?
yeah,
Uh,
they got
so
flexed.
yeah, they did. We have games on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Do you like that?
Dude, I want Saturday games so goddamn bad. And you know
Yeah,
what? Me
true,
and you are
man.
both we're both big wrestling guys. And when they moved the pay-per-views to Saturday night is like a
Loved it.
whole event, dude. I love
Yeah,
it. You don't got no work the next day. You can drink a couple Bush
Brewskis.
Lights. Yeah,
Okay.
but dude, I love Saturday games. I wish the hell they would do it
Hmm.
all year. Obviously, I get it with you know, college
TV
football,
deals
whatever.
and stuff in
Yeah, and
college.
all
Yeah,
that, but I think it's inevitable. 10 years from now, we're going to have football every day of the week with the
yeah.
Thursday
There's going to
night
be
games.
so many fucking
Yeah.
injuries. We're going to have to stop fantasy leagues at the week 10
Yeah.
with the amount of injuries we're going to have.
For real.
First game I have Lions Broncos. Lions are 4.5 point favorites. The Lions, honestly, dude, have fraud alert written all over them right
You
now.
think so?
And the Broncos are fucking red hot, man.
Well, I mean, the Lions are 9-4. You think they're frauds or
Dude, they have, they've lost some games. They've, you
they've
know,
lost 4 games?
yeah, yeah. They've found ways to win games that they should have lost, like that Bears game 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
They just have not looked like that same team that went on that run in the beginning of the season. Uh, when I say fraud alert, it's a little jokingly, but they have not been as strong as people have made them out to be these past few weeks, and it's alarming because this is when you should be getting your stride.
Right. I can agree with that, but like at the same token, I'm really enjoying watching for some reason good Lions football.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, me
I'm
too.
31 years old and they've sucked every single year I think since I've been alive.
Hmm.
It's just fun to watch. I like Dan Campbell. I think he's a goofball. I think he's like a maniac.
Yeah,
And I think it's just good for that Detroit culture. The football culture that they have there is one that like isn't talked about really enough. But there's such a strong, passionate fan base, and they deserve a good goddamn team. They deserve a good product on the field. Like, can you imagine sitting here and watching the Eagles for 31 years and being like, they just get fucking destroyed week in and week out.
yeah.
You
No,
know
you're not wrong.
you force two Hall of Fame transcendent guy football players at their respective positions to retire early. And now that every week, it was a tradition to watch the Lions get shit on every Thanksgiving. But now they're competitive
Now
and
they're
they're putting
good.
a team
Yeah,
out there, dude. And I think after the bridge that is Jared Goff, it eventually it has to lead to someone leading this team into the future. And I think they got a bright future, dude. And I think it's
yeah.
I wouldn't say frauds, but I think they're like just on they're still going up. I think, on
Yeah,
the roller
yeah.
coaster.
I think they're not ready just yet. I think their horse hasn't left the stable just yet.
But
I
this
think they're.
division's theirs to win, though.
Oh yeah, but another game I was just about to mention. The Packers have been hot. The
Hmm.
Packers have looked better. They're 3.5 point favorites against Tampa Bay this week. Um, Jordan Love has really come around these
Hmm.
past several weeks. He's looked better. Um, what do you think of Jordan Love? What do you think of this game?
I think he's like his stock is going up a little bit. I think he's still has some games to prove. He's still, what is he on, 1 year next year?
Yeah,
So he's got a next year prove it deal, and if he can keep the consistency, then I think they finally got something, and they should really. I would hope they would learn from what they did with Rodgers, you know, and did they do it even with Favre? Build with this guy. Stop
hmm
taking offensive linemen every single goddamn year. Like
well, there's nothing wrong with that, but I get what you're. Give him talent.
right, but you
Like,
don't
well,
need 30 offensive linemen, and then you have Ray Finkel out there catching passes. You know what I
sure.
mean? You need give him a stud wide receiver. It every team has one.
Yeah, because
You
it
know what I
ain't
mean?
Christian Watson, unfortunately.
No, I don't.
He's
I don't
out
think
again.
so
I forgot
either.
to mention him in the injuries. He's out again.
Romeo Dobbs is good. I like Romeo Dobbs.
Jaden Reed
Um,
is very good.
Jaden Reed is good, but go out and just draft a guy, dude. Take a
Mm.
freaking risk.
And in the first, they are historically a second round wide receiver draft pick for
I just
whatever
don't get it.
reason.
I never got it. I never understood that.
But I mean, Dobbs and Reed and Musgrave, they all look good. I mean, Musgrave can't stay healthy either. But I think the Packers win this game against Tampa. Do you agree?
I think it's going to be closer than we think. Actually, no, I'm taking Tampa.
Tampa? All right.
Screw
I
it.
mean, that's
I'm
fine.
taking Tampa. I'm taking Mike Evans TD.
That's a good one. I do like that. I like that. Um, Tennessee 3.5 point favorites against the Houston Texans. Now, this is a Texans team without C.J. Stroud, most likely without Nico Collins, without Will Anderson. Um, I think the Titans win this one.
What was it? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's pretty set in stone. I think
I
the
think
Titans
so.
win that. It's going to
Will
be.
Levis got that absolute dog in him. Don't
Oh
don't
my
forget
god, I
it.
know you love him so much with that 199-yard game, dude. Look at
He
him.
had 300 yards this past week.
Look at him
Again, another 300-yard game.
again. Come on, talk about
The second
frauds.
one. Come on.
Talk about frauds. Hashtag coffee and mayonnaise, dude.
Hashtag, but they never mind. We're not even gonna call. How can you call them frauds when they just beat Miami?
No, 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 no. Him.
Oh, shut up.
Just
No.
just
Anyway,
William Levis.
I think the Titans win this game. I think pretty handily too.
Hmm.
3.5 points seems a little generous because I obviously both these teams are not great.
Hmm.
Um, but I do think the Titans probably win by a touchdown in this
Yeah,
one.
I could see that.
Uh, the next one we got a lot of stake in is Dallas versus Buffalo.
Oh
Buffalo's
God, come on,
one.
Josh. Oh, come on, Josh.
The Bills are 1.5 point favorites. Yeah,
But it
if
in
if
Buffalo.
yeah, if Buffalo could pull this one out for us, that'd be great. That'd be splendid. If Dalton Kincaid can get this done for us, that would be splendid.
Yeah.
Uh, I do think I do think the Bills should win this game. I think Dallas coming off of the absolute spanking that they did against the Eagles, that was their target, and
Hmm.
now they're like, okay, they might be smelling themselves a little bit.
Hmm.
I think Buffalo wins this.
I'll never take the Cowboys. Buffalo wins. I think Josh, just because you talked about how much stake we have in the game, I have one team in the fantasy playoffs. I'm a 6th seed, and Josh Allen's my quarterback.
I
I
would
got
feel
a
pretty good
ton.
about that.
I got a ton in this game.
You got a
Um,
whole sirloin in that steak
yeah,
right there.
yes, come on. I think they win. They're at home. Um, I think it might be. I think you might see a Kincaid touchdown. I think you might see your boy. What's his name? His name's escaping me.
Khalil
Second
Shakir.
year wide. Yeah, touchdown by
I like
him.
Khalil Shakir. Yeah.
Yeah, that's your
Uh,
boy.
I think CeeDee Lamb goes off in this one though. Again,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think. I mean, that's just a given now at this
he's just
point.
too damn good.
Dak, as much as I hate to admit it, is playing out of his mind.
Yeah, he's. I
Um,
think he's the. Is he the MVP favorite in your mind right now?
dude, my MVP favorite isn't like it doesn't make. I guess it's never going to happen. But uh, Christian McCaffrey, CMC is my would be like makes sense. Like
Yeah.
I wish it wasn't just a quarterback award because it just goes without saying it's a quarterback award. But
Hmm.
like CMC is having a historic season. Like he's having the craziest season that we've ever seen alive. Us two alive as a football watching a football player. He's
My other one
ridiculous.
that's a good one. I think another one that deserves consideration is Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill's been playing out of his mind as well. I agree with that. But I mean, it
I think
sucks.
both of
It's
them.
such a wire. Such a quarterback award, dude.
But yeah, if we give it to a quarterback, I think it's going to be Dak. It's him over Purdy for me, pretty
Dude,
heavily.
such a weird. Like who? What are the odds right now?
It's like that year of the Super Bowl where it was Nick Foles, Tom Brady, Blake Bortles, and Case Keenum
Yeah,
in
it's like
the
oh my
in the
god, dude.
championship games. Last game we got here, our Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Seattle Seahawks. The Eagles are 3-point favorites. I believe this one is in Seattle, so that being 3-point
It
favorites
is.
there is pretty nice. I think
Um.
that's the Geno Smith effect.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking for the damn MVP. There we go. Sorry, the MVP
Odds.
odds. Yeah. So it's Dak, Purdy, Allen, Mahomes, Tua, Jordan Love.
Is that just quarterbacks, or is
Wait,
there
wait, never
anybody
mind. I
else?
don't know how to. I don't know how to read. I didn't graduate. This was the most regular season total passing yards, passing touchdowns.
I was like,
Um,
wait a minute, how the hell is
well, the
Jordan?
way this is set up here is like so goddamn hard to find, dude. Where the
Sounds like user error.
yeah, season awards. Here we go. NFL. Ooh, I don't. I think I like the other one better. And the MVP odds. Brock Purdy is the favorite, followed by Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson, Jalen, Josh Allen, Tyreek Hill. Ew.
Yeah,
Ugh. But yeah,
yeah,
let's get into that game. What do we think's going to happen? I think the Eagles are going to win this. Hopefully,
yeah. Please, God, dude, we've
please
just been
God win.
getting
Yeah,
smacked past 2 weeks. It's been rough
but
because we've been put on fraud alert
mhm.
recently,
And
and
you know what I mean. Everyone loves to see when that happens to us.
yeah,
When it
no,
happens
you're
to the
not
Eagles,
wrong.
everyone loves it. But I think we're. I mean, I'm not going to say we're not going to get smacked because I think DK is going to run all over us. He's going to
That's
run up and down and up and down. But
that's
if
my
you can,
biggest fear is
yeah,
because
hammer him over 100 yards.
yeah, because I was just about to say, do you remember what was it 2 years ago when we played them and he just made Slay like
Hmm.
he gave Slay problems all night long. It was an
Yeah,
absolute nightmare.
yeah.
Um, it could be a rough defensive game.
It it yeah
Hopefully we
yeah.
can keep up.
I think it's going to be rough, but their defense is just as bad as ours. Has been playing just as bad as ours. So
Yeah,
I think if anything, it's going to be high scoring as hell. But I think the Eagles win it like 31
they
24.
need they need a statement win. They need like that
Yeah,
big game because
we need
what's
like
this
a
past two
48 to
week? It's
6.
yeah. What's it been like? We put up 19 the past 2 weeks or something like
We
that.
didn't even have an offensive touchdown last game, dude.
Yeah,
It's like
it's scary hours here right now. You know, we need a
I
statement win.
dude, last game I looked at the TV, looked at my clock, and I'm like, Eagles do not deserve me being tired tomorrow morning at work. I'm going to goddamn bed, and I close my eyes. I wake up like all days. Oh, I look at the TV and fucking Jalen Carter's just fucking hoofing down dude with the ball. I'm like sitting there. I'm like, oh shit, go! And I'm like, all right, I'm done. I look down at the score. I'm like, fuck this, man. I'm out of here. Went to bed. But
Yeah,
hopefully that's not the case on Monday. I'm hoping I'm seeing just kick their ass, dude. What else can I say?
please,
Kick their ass.
please.
Is it?
Um,
Do you see this being a Rashad Penny return home game?
no, no.
Does he actually play? Are we paying him $1 million for nothing? Like he's getting like he has been inactive for
If
13 games. Like
if Rashad Penny is on your dynasty roster right now, start him. No, I'm kidding. Cut him. He's become a roster clogger at this point. Start
you should have
cutting
cut
those
him. You
guys.
should have cut him like seven
Yeah, I
weeks
was
ago.
just hoping. I was looking at the tea leaves of DeAndre Swift's health, and
Yeah.
Who knows? But Penny's become a roster clogger at this point. I'm
Mhm.
pretty confident in cutting him on dynasty rosters, but
Yep.
uh, I think the Eagles win this. Hopefully,
I
please.
agree. I agree. So that will do it for us here at the Dynasty Dog Podcast, brought to you by Win Daily Sports. You can follow us on the X at Dynasty Dog Rich. You can follow Mike at Dynasty Dog Mike, and we will talk to you soon.
Later.